Chapter 1. The Collision. The scent hit her first. Adana Okafor's hands froze mid-wipe on the marble table in the Imperial Hotel's private VIP lounge, her entire body going rigid. C4. Plastic explosive. The chemical signature was unmistakable. That sickly sweet petroleum smell mixed with something sharper, like burnt almonds. Her stomach dropped, and for 3 seconds she was 14 years old again, standing in the Lagos market, watching her mother laugh at a joke her father had just told. She whispered in completely Igbo, her voice unaware that in cracking. 5 Everyone seconds they move. would both be. But the 5 men in the room, expensive Tom Ford suits, cold eyes, the kind of men who owned cities, didn't speak her language. They didn't even see her. To them, she was invisible. Just another poor Nigerian cleaner in a shapeless gray uniform, dark skin blending into the shadows. The man at the head of the table was different, though. Kang Min-jae. She'd cleaned this room 47 times in the past 6 months, and every single time, he'd been here. She knew his routine better than she knew her own. He always sat in the same chair, the one facing the door. He drank whiskey, never wine. Until now. And he never, ever looked at her. His dark eyes lifted from the contract in front of him, and something about the way she'd frozen made him pause. For the first time in 6 months of invisibility, Kang Min-jae actually saw her. "There's a bomb," Adana said in broken Korean. "Under-table bomb. Please, run." The room erupted. "What the hell? Security! Who let this bitch?" But Kang Min-jae didn't move. He was staring at her face, watching the genuine terror there. And then he smelled it too. "Out," he said quietly, his voice like a blade cutting through chaos. "Everyone out. Now." "Sir, she's just a—" "I said out." They ran. All except him. Kang Min-jae stood slowly and walked toward her, not away from the table, toward her. "How do you know?" he asked in perfect cold Korean. My parents—" Her Korean failed her. She switched to English. "My parents died in a bombing, Lagos, 12 years ago." He moved faster than she'd ever seen a human move. "I know the smell." One moment he was 3 feet away. The next, his hand was wrapped around her wrist, and he was pulling her down. Not away from the table, down onto him. He yanked her into his lap just as the world exploded. The blast was everything she remembered and worse. The deafening crack that rattled through her bones. The wave of scorching heat. The rain of glass and marble and wood. But this time she wasn't alone. This time there was a body beneath hers. Solid, warm, alive, and arms wrapped around her so tight she couldn't breathe. Kang Min-jae had used his own body as a shield. For the first time in 12 years, Adana wasn't the only one who survived. When the ringing in her ears finally subsided, his voice came low and dangerous against her ear. "Who sent you?" She tried to pull back, but his grip tightened. "Who paid you to plant that bomb?" "No!" The word came out as a sob. "I'm just a cleaner. I'm nobody." His grip loosened just enough for her to lift her head. They were nose to nose now. Up close, Kang Min-jae was devastating. Sharp jaw dusted with stubble, full lips pressed into a hard line. A small scar cutting through his left eyebrow, black as midnight and twice as dangerous. "You're telling me," he said slowly, "that you just happened to recognize a bomb that my W-800 million security system didn't catch?" Yes, I'm sorry. What's your name?" In 6 months of cleaning his private lounge, he'd never once asked her name. Adana Okafor." Something shifted in his expression. His gaze dropped to where his hand still cradled her head. "Adana," he repeated like he was tasting her name. "How did you know?" "My parents—" Her voice broke. "Boko Haram. Market bombing in Lagos. I was there. I watched them die. For 3 seconds, I've never forgotten that smell." He just stared at her. Then something cracked in his expression. Something that looked like recognition, like pain. "I'm sorry," he said quietly. And for the first time in 12 years, Adana believed someone when they said those words. Then his phone buzzed. "We need to move," he said, "now." "What? Why?" "Because there's a second bomb in my car." Adana's blood ran cold. "And you, Adana Okafor," he continued, pulling her toward the emergency exit, "are going to help me find it." They reached the parking garage 3 minutes later. Kang Min-jae's black Bentley sat in the VIP spot, sleek and deadly. "There," Adana said, pointing. "Under the chassis. Driver's side, I can see the wire." Every man in the garage stared at her. Kang Min-jae crouched down, pulling her with him. "Can you tell what kind of device it is?" Same signature as the first one, she whispered. Same construction. Whoever planted the first bomb planted this one too. His jaw tightened. And that means someone in your organization did this. Someone you trust. The silence was deafening. Then Kang Min-jae smiled. It was the coldest, most dangerous thing she'd ever seen. Well then, I guess we have a traitor to find. He pulled her to her feet and tucked her behind him like she was something precious. You saved my life, he said quietly. Twice. In the span of 10 minutes. Do you have any idea what that means? Adana shook her head. He stepped closer. Close enough that she had to tilt her head back to meet his eyes. It means you're mine now, Adana Okafor, whether you like it or not. I can't be yours, I'm illegal, I have no papers. I own immigration, I own this city, and I'm going to own you too. An explosion rocked the garage. The Bentley erupted in a fireball. The blast wave knocked them backward, but this time, Adana was ready. This time, she was the one who caught him. When she looked up, Kang Min-jae was staring at her like she'd performed a miracle. How did you know it would go off? He asked. Timer, 30 seconds. We had 30 seconds. For 3 heartbeats, they just stared at each other, tangled together on the oil-stained concrete. Then Kang Min-jae laughed, sharp, almost manic. I believe you now, Adana Okafor. I believe every fucking word. Chapter 2. The Forced Proximity. Kang Min-jae's penthouse was a fortress disguised as luxury. Floor-to-ceiling windows, white marble, black leather. Everything cold, expensive, and utterly terrifying, Adana said. Tomorrow I go back to... No. He shrugged off his torn jacket. You're not going anywhere. Excuse me? He turned to face her, and Adana's breath caught despite herself. In the garage, covered in dust and blood, he'd been dangerous. Here, with the city lights painting his sharp features in gold, he was devastating. I meant what I said. You belong to me now. Until I find who's trying to kill me, you stay where I can see you. That's insane! You can't kidnap me! I know everything about you, Adana Okafor. He pulled out his phone. Born in Lagos, 1998. Parents killed in the Sabangari bombing, 2012. 3 younger siblings, Emmanuel, Grace, and Precious, burned behind Adana's all living eyes. With your aunt in Lagos. Hearing her life reduced to data points felt like being stripped naked. Every month. You entered Korea illegally 18 months ago. Right. You work 84 hours a week across 3 jobs. You sleep in a room with 5 other women until her back hit the window. You eat 1 meal a day. You saved my life. That makes you mine. And I protect what's mine. I'm not a possession. I'm a person. What life? The question was gentle, which made it cut deeper. The one where you work yourself to death for people who don't see you? It's my life. The one where you're one immigration raid away from losing everything? Something flickered in his eyes. Respect. Then prove it. Walk out that door. Go back to being invisible. I won't stop you. He stepped back. Adana should have run. But her feet wouldn't move. Why? She asked. Why do you care? You didn't know I existed 12 hours ago. His jaw tightened, and for the first time, she saw something vulnerable. I've walked past you 47 times in 6 months. You cleaned my private lounge every Thursday at 8 p.m., and I never once looked at you. He moved closer. Not really. Again. But tonight, you looked at me like I was worth saving, like my life mattered more than your own safety. Nobody has looked at me like that in 5 years. Your brother? Not since my brother died. Minho. The name came out like broken glass. My baby brother, 23 years old, murdered by someone I trusted. His hand came up, someone who sat at my table called me young. But I didn't see things, Adana. And right now, I need someone who can see, because I'm blind, and it's going to get me killed. Something cracked open in her chest. He wasn't just a mafia king. He was a man who'd lost everyone he loved and didn't know who to trust anymore. Just like her. Okay, she heard herself say. I'll stay, but not as your possession, as your employee. You pay me. I help you find who's trying to kill you. A real smile this time, when it's over, not the cold, dangerous one. You're negotiating with me. Nobody negotiates with me. I just did. Fine. $100 million a month, plus housing, plus I handle your immigration, plus I send $10 million monthly to your siblings directly. That's insane. You're worth it, he said simply. And you'll earn every one. Chapter 3. The Threat. The next morning, Adana woke to the smell of coffee and gunfire. She bolted upright, heart hammering, and ran into the hallway. Kang Min-jae caught her by the shoulders. It's okay. Training range. Yoon is running drills. Adana sagged against him, adrenaline making her shake. I know. His arms came around her. I should have warned you. Most people aren't used to waking up to automatic weapons fire. She felt him laugh, a quiet vibration in his chest. Come on, breakfast. In the kitchen, he poured her coffee. Black, 2 sugars. How did you know? I told you, I know everything. You drink it the same way at the hotel staff cafeteria, every morning at 5:47 a.m. The fact that he'd noticed made something warm bloom in her chest. Then Yoon, his security chief, slid a tablet across the counter. Security footage from B3, 3 weeks ago. The video showed a woman in a gray cleaning uniform, same build as Adana, same dark skin, entering the secure floor. She knew where the cameras were, Adana whispered. She never shows her face. But she made one mistake. Kang Min-jae zoomed in. Watch. On the woman's wrist was a tattoo, a golden serpent eating its own tail. The Serpent Clan's mark, Yoon said. Only full members get it. Adana's blood ran cold. Someone stole my uniform, used my identity to infiltrate your secure floor. Kang Min-jae's expression went from protective to murderous. Someone has been planning this for weeks, and they used you as cover. Then alarms screamed to life. Red lights flooded the penthouse. Talk to me, Min-jae said into his phone. His expression turned to ice. Lock it down. He turned to Adana. The Serpent Clan. 20 armed men just entered the building lobby. For you, Adana said, her voice shaking. No, for you. Park Jin-ho's bounty went viral. $500 million for proof of your death. There's a bounty on my head? He's not going to touch you. Kang Min-jae's hands framed her face. Because I will burn this entire city to the ground before I let anyone hurt you. A woman stepped out. Beautiful. Dangerous. A golden serpent tattoo on her wrist. Hello, sweetheart. I believe you have something that belongs to us. She raised her gun. Adana didn't think. She grabbed the coffee pot and hurled it. The woman ducked. Yoon moved, gun up, firing. But the woman was faster. Yoon went down, bleeding from the shoulder. Then Adana saw it. In the elevator, a bomb. Timer counting down. There's a bomb in the elevator, she said, her voice surprisingly calm. 90 seconds. The woman's smile faltered. How could you possibly? I can smell it. A gunshot echoed. Kang Min-jae appeared from the stairwell. His bullet caught the woman in the leg. She went down screaming. But Adana was watching the timer. 73 seconds. Min-jae, bomb, we need to evacuate. He looked at the elevator. Understanding flashed across his face. The safe room now. They ran, but the biometric scanner didn't work. She hacked it, Adana realized, when she accessed B3. 45 seconds. Kang Min-jae made a decision that would haunt her. Yoon, get her out, emergency stairs. No! Adana's hands fisted in his shirt. You don't get to die saving me. He kissed her. The kiss was desperate, furious, tasting of coffee and fear and something deeper that had been building since the moment she first saved his life. When he pulled back, his eyes were blazing. I'm not dying today, neither are you, trust me. 30 seconds. He pulled her down the hallway to a wine cellar, reinforced, built during the Cold War. The heavy door slammed shut just as the explosion hit. The world became noise and heat and violence. His body covered hers, one hand cradling her head, the other arm locked around her waist. She could hear him counting against her ear. 1, 2, 3. At 15, the shaking stopped. At 25, he pulled back to look at her face. You okay? Are you hurt? I'm fine, Min-jae, you're bleeding. Blood ran down his face from a cut on his temple, but he just wiped it away impatiently. You didn't run, he said quietly. Neither did you. I told you to run. And I told you I wasn't leaving. He stared at her for 3 heartbeats. Then something raw and honest flickered across his face. I'm starting to feel things for you, he whispered. Things I haven't felt in 5 years. And that terrifies me. I barely know you, Adana said, but I feel like I've been waiting for you. Does that make sense? No, it makes no sense at all, but I feel it too. Chapter 4. The Admission. The war with the Serpent Clan lasted 6 days. 6 days of Kang Min-jae leaving before dawn with cold eyes and returning after midnight with blood on his hands. On the seventh day, everything changed. A phone call at 3:47 a.m. Adana woke to the sound of his voice through the wall, sharp, angry, afraid. She found him by the window, shirtless, phone pressed to his ear. "How many casualties?" he asked. "I see, I'm coming in." He hung up, and for 3 seconds just stood there, staring at the city. "What happened?" Adana asked. He turned, and the expression on his face made her heart stop. Not anger, defeat. "The Serpent Clan hit our warehouse in Incheon. 20 million in medical supplies for the free clinic in Itaewon. All gone. Burned." His free clinic served Seoul's immigrant population, people like her. "The medications can be replaced. It's not about the money. 3 of our people were in the warehouse. Good men. One had a daughter starting university next month." He said it so flatly, like emotion was a luxury he couldn't afford. Adana crossed to him, her hands finding his bare shoulders. "I'm sorry. Don't be. This is what happens when you rule through fear. You're going after them." "Yes." He turned to face her. "And I need you to stay here. The penthouse is secure. But Adana..." His hands framed her face. "This is going to be bad. The Serpent Clan's main compound is in Busan. 40 armed men. I'll win. I always win. But
Don't
the
go."
cost," Adana heard herself say. "Please. I have to. If I send someone else, I'm a coward. And the moment I show weakness, 20 other clans will smell blood." He leaned in, pressing his forehead to hers. "I'll come back, I always do." "You can't promise that." Kang Min-jae kissed her, slow, deep, tasting of desperation and goodbye. When he pulled back, his eyes were blazing. "I love you," he said. The words hung in the air. "You can't say that. We've known each other for a week." "I know, it's insane. But Adana, I've been dead inside for 5 years, and you brought me back to life." His hands tightened on her face. "I need you to know, if I don't come back, I need you to know that you were worth it. Worth living for. Worth dying for." "Don't talk like that, you're not dying." "I love you," he said again. "I love your strength, your courage, the way you see me, the way you make me want to be better." The rest was lost as she pulled him into a kiss that tasted of salt and fear and something deeper than words. "Come back to me," Adana whispered. "Promise you'll come back." "I promise." It was a lie, and they both knew it. But she let him go anyway. The call came 4 hours later. Adana. Yoon's voice was rough over gunfire. "Min-jae is down, bullet wound to the chest. His heart stopped for 43 seconds.
43 seconds.
They had to resuscitate him in the helicopter. 43 seconds where Kang Min-jae had been dead. She found him in the ICU at Asan Medical Center, pale and still, hooked up to machines. "I'm his fiancé," she lied to the nurse. The word felt true. She climbed onto the narrow hospital bed beside him. "You promised," she sobbed. "You lying bastard, you promised." His eye cracked open. "Adana? I'm here." "I saw him," he whispered. "Minho, my brother. He was waiting for me. Said it wasn't time yet. That you were waiting." Tears streamed down her face. "I told you I loved you," he mumbled, slurred with medication. "Did I tell you? Love you so much." "I know, and Min-jae, I love you too." His bruised face transformed with a smile so bright it made him look like a different person. "Say it again." "I love you, Kang Min-jae, I love you." "Marry me," he said. "You're on drugs. You don't know what you're saying." "Know exactly what I'm saying. Want you forever. Ask me again when you're not high on morphine." Gonna hold you to that. 4 days later, he was awake, alert, sober. "I asked you to marry me. Do you remember?" "You were on morphine." "I'm asking again. Now. Stone cold sober. Marry me, Adana Okafor." Yes. Yes, I'll marry you. I love you. I choose you. So yes." He pulled her into a kiss that tasted like relief and joy and home. "I don't deserve you," he whispered. "Probably not, but you're stuck with me anyway." Chapter 5. The Confrontation. Park Jin-ho made his move 3 weeks later. The Council of Ravens, the 5 most powerful criminal organizations in Korea, summoned Kang Min-jae. Park Jin-ho was challenging his leadership from Russia. Claiming his love for Adana made him weak. "You don't have to come," Min-jae said in the car. "I'm the reason we're here. I should be there." If this goes badly, if they vote against me, you need to run. No, I'm not leaving you. We're partners, equal. He smiled. I'm going to marry the hell out of you. Damn right you are. At the fortress, the other leaders stared at Adana with contempt. You brought your pet, Director Cho said. Speak about my fiancé like that again, Min Jae said coldly, and this meeting will be a memorial service instead of a trial. Park Jin-ho's video played. Security footage of Min Jae kissing Adana after the interrogation. Look at him, Park Jin-ho's voice said. The feared black raven reduced to a lovesick fool. He's compromised. Weak. Director Cho spoke. He makes a compelling case. He makes a coward's case, Min Jae countered. He's hiding in Russia, throwing accusations because he doesn't have the courage to face me directly. Has your attachment to this woman compromised your judgment? Madam Young asked. No. Then explain why you led a raid personally, why you're planning to marry her. For a moment, Min Jae was silent. Then he spoke with absolute conviction. You want to know why I led that raid? Because 3 of my men died. Good men. And I owe it to their families to deliver justice. You want to know why I moved her into my home? Because she had more intelligence value in 1 week than my entire security team in 6 months. And you want to know why I'm marrying her? He looked at Adana. Because for 5 years after Minho died, I was a ghost. Empty inside. Dead in every way that mattered. And then she looked at me like I was worth saving. For the first time in 5 years, I wanted to live. He faced the council again. So yes, I love her. And no, that doesn't make me weak. It makes me dangerous. Because now I have something to protect. Chairman Park leaned forward. The girl, she speaks? All eyes turned to Adana. Yes, she said in careful Korean. I speak. Then tell us, why should we allow Kang Min-jae to remain in power? Adana's mind raced. You shouldn't allow it, she said clearly. You should demand it. Arrogant girl. 3 weeks ago, your security failed. All 5 of your organizations. Park Jin-ho accessed your private files. Stole your secrets. She stepped forward. And you didn't know until it was too late. But I knew. You call me weak? I detected the infiltration. I crossed an ocean in a cargo container. I saved not just Kang Min-jae's life, I survived human traffickers, but the security of this entire council. Of weak. And the fact that Madam you don't see that proves Park Jin-ho is right about one thing. No, you're all blind. You be careful. Because Kang Min-jae is the only leader smart enough to see value where others see nothing. He's the only one ruthless enough to burn down an entire enemy organization in 6 days. Decide. And he's the only one honest enough to admit that love doesn't make you weak. If you remove him from power, it makes you human. You're losing the only person who understands that true strength isn't about how much you can destroy. Then Chairman Park smiled. It's about what you're willing to protect. You've got fire, girl. I like that. The vote was unanimous. Min Jae kept his position. And now they had council approval to hunt Park Jin-ho in Russia. Chapter 6. The Transformation. Vladivostok was cold. Adana walked into the Bratva safe house dressed as a wealthy African businesswoman, carrying $100 million in bribes. When Park Jin-ho saw her, his eyes went wide. You're the cleaning girl, Min Jae's whore. Adana smiled, cold, dangerous. Hello, Park Jin-ho. I believe you have something that belongs to my fiancé. The windows exploded inward. Kang Min-jae came through first. Yoon and 20 men behind him. The firefight lasted 43 seconds. When it was over, Park Jin-ho was on his knees. You really brought her, Park Jin-ho said. You actually fell in love. Where are the files? Safe, encrypted, set to release automatically if I die. Min Jae smiled coldly. You never trusted cloud storage. Everything was on physical drives. He held up 4 hard drives. And now I have them. Park Jin-ho sagged. You're going to kill me. I gave you a choice. 10 years in a Siberian work camp. Or a clean death. Park Jin-ho chose the camp. Death would be mercy, Min Jae told Adana later. 10 years knowing he failed, that's justice. Back in Seoul, at the council's celebration dinner, Min Jae knelt before her with a ring. Adana Okafor, you've seen me at my worst. My most dangerous. My most broken. And you stayed. You chose me. Yes, she said through tears. So now I'm asking. Yes, you idiot. Will you marry me? Later on the balcony, not because Madam I need you to survive, her, but because I don't want to live without you. You're pregnant. Adana's hand went to her stomach. I haven't taken a test. If you're carrying his heir, Every enemy he's ever made will come for that child. Are you prepared? Adana thought about Lagos, about everything she'd survived. Yes, I'm prepared. When she told Minjai, he pulled her into his arms. We're getting married tomorrow, not next month. Tomorrow. I want everything legal before the universe decides I don't deserve this much happiness. Nothing is taking this away, she promised. This is ours. We fought for it. We earned it. 5 years later, Adana Okafor Kang stood in the kitchen of their home, not the penthouse, but a house with a garden and space for children. Small arms wrapped around her legs. Amma, a voice said, high, sweet, speaking Korean and Igbo. Minho her pushed me. 4 years old, dark skin, natural curls, her father's sharp eyes. Minhee, her son appeared. 3 years old, lighter skin, her warm brown eyes. Minho, named for the uncle he'd never meet. Kang Min-jae leaned against the doorframe. You're an amazing mother. Have I told you that today? Twice, but I don't mind hearing it again. His hands moved to her stomach, swollen with their third child. 3 years ago, he'd stepped down as leader of the Black Raven. Now he came home every night. Now he was just Appa. I love you, he said, kissing her. Thank you for choosing me, for being my home. I love you too. And Minjai? I'd choose you again, every time, in every life. Their children's laughter filled the house. Besties, Adana said softly. Drop a comment below and tell me, did you believe this story? That a poor Nigerian cleaner could save a Korean mafia boss and end up with everything in our life like it's a viral video? And I still barely believe it myself. Maybe. Our story is crazy enough, why not? Then let me add the ending. Like and subscribe, besties. Because this love story, this is just the beginning. And Adana Okafor Kang knew he was right. This wasn't an ending. It was a beginning. The beginning of forever. The end.